Okay, let's get to the part two of this story, how to excel in Canvas. My name is Adanyi Humphrey. For those that have not been in a position to interact with me before. But altogether, I didn't want to leave it hanging. I wanted us to take care of the package as it is, as a whole, ndio tuweze kukuwa na nafasi ya kuwezesha vipindi vingine. It's quite prudent for you as a student to really excel. That's the baseline. Regardless of how you've been performing, if you're a continuing student, you have to excel in the remaining part of school, because it will be in vain or out of vain to interact with people and you don't succeed. I was interacting with one senator today, and much came on board, and it's actually very wrong and difficult to put on leadership some people who are not sober in their thinking. That's why the young people, we face quite a lot of challenges. But that aside, we have to excel. So in part one of this program, how to excel in Canvas, I was majorly talking to you a little bit more general, but I promised you that I will be talking about how to excel in class now that you're a student, you've attended class. So there are a number of things to consider. The first one, you must be self-disciplined. In the sense that you must attend classes. You have to attend classes. Campus is really a trick place. This story ya kusema nisainie sijui nini, niko town, niko wapi, that one will really make you to have a difficult time in school. So the first baseline, you have to attend classes and attend it on time. Try as much as you can to be in front, or rather among those who sat in front, so that you understand the teacher. In Canvas, we concentrate in teaching on the concept. So it's your personal responsibility to understand the concept. The content of that concept doesn't matter sana, because once you have the concept, you can apply it in whichever field, in whichever type of test you're gonna have. So cha muhimu sana ni attend classes, online or physical. I know COVID has really tilted things, but try to be in school. The second important thing, in some institution, the lecture rooms, they have Wi-Fi. So you need to have another type of discipline. You must be able to control yourself. It got some point when I was in school and I could leave my phone in the house. Not because it was not a smartphone, though I spent most of the time without a smartphone, but I just didn't want distraction in class. Because if you miss the concept when the teacher is explaining, you will miss it to the end. As I have said, it's a concept. We teach concepts. We don't teach just anything. You want you to understand a particular concept. So when you miss any part of it, you've missed it all. So, and some of the distractions ni watu kuchat wakiwa class. And if you find yourself doing this, just know you're an indisciplined child. Your teacher haizi kuambia labda. Some of these teachers, they don't have time for you. They have time to make money and go and do their businesses and their consultancy. But I tell you, as a young person, when you're in class, you must be disciplined. If freedom, you misuse it so much in school. What is the essence of you leaving the room to come and chat in class? And some students who are tabia mbaya mpaka, they are chatting in the same class with the colleagues in the same class. So I don't advocate for that. I don't want to see anybody behaving in that manner. Because at the end of the day, it's you who is going to perish, or it's you who's going to suffer. So I don't want you to have an issue of chatting in class or matters as that, because they're going to hurt you and they're going to affect you. I'm just trying to control that so that doesn't distract our record. So students who come class and then they have a tendency of chatting with their colleagues. They have a tendency of checking status and memes, downloading them and sharing while in class. Honestly speaking, you're fooling no one. You're fooling yourself. After 4 years, you're going to be out of school. After 5 years, you're going to be out of school. After 6 years, you're going to be out of school. Supplementary, you'll do it alone. Ask them who have done it before. Supplementaries is always difficult than the main exam, because you'll be revising alone. You'll do it alone. You're going to just find it difficult. So you rather just concentrate and be a good kid. Another thing is that you will also be tempted to steal exams if you don't read well. Stealing exams in most institutions, you'll be expelled. Your friends wenye wanakuestia time, utawaacha shule too. These are the consequences of participating in such cases. My colleague had to defer because actually alisuspendiwa for 1,000 days. If you put in the normal calendar, those about 2 academic years. And alirudi wakati si tuko 4th year ndio anarudi second year. So these things are real and they affect people. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. But it will be useless for you to be bright kids in high school and you come and struggle in campus to just get a C, because you're making your priorities wrong. Mnataka kulala sana, you want to watch a lot of movies, spending overnights exhausting series, without knowing your life will become a movie. Na shida yenu sasa students ni moja, when you're told these things, you see it as a story. I will not be part of your life anyway. I'm just talking, just telling you what to do. It's your personal responsibility to make decisions, and you ought to make the right decisions. Because if you don't make the right decisions, you're gonna perish, I tell you. No one will do it for you. You might watch a strong motivation clip on YouTube. You might watch Humphrey talking to you like I'm doing. But the decision still lies with you. There's no motivation, inspiration, powerful book you've read before that can change you until you change the way you think. You must decide that you want to change. You have to decide it. Some of you have not faced the consequences, so you don't see the need to listen to these clips. But when you bite the challenges, when you see the reality of the matter, things will change. So while in class, minimize chatting and checking WhatsApp status. Switch off your data, switch off your everything. Even your parents understands uko shule, so don't tell me that unangojea simu na missed call ya mzazi au emergency calls. You don't have a lot of emergency calls as a students. Kwani ni gani hizo? Yeah, your boyfriend or girlfriend's call is not an emergency call. So you must be able to control your communications while in class. Hata kama unatumia simu kusoma ama kuangalia notes ukifuatilia vile mwalimu anafunza, try to discipline yourself in the sense that your data is off and you cannot open your chat box and you cannot pick calls. The third most prudent things, most teachers, what they teach in class is what they will examine. So no matter how many pages of notes they have given you, they will examine what is taught in class. So it's essential for you to be in class, ask questions and interact with them. It's also quite important for you as a student to exercise past paper questions, because there is an examination language and there is a syllabus language. You have to understand both of them as a student. And I'm giving you a lot of secrets that I used, and trust me, I got a serious number of A's from first year to fourth year. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to tell you what I'm imagining. I'm not trying to tell you what it's impossible, because I saw it happening. And we helped colleagues and they succeeded. We had serious discussion groups, around 4 of them very much competing. And during our year, in one department only, we had over 27 first class. It has never been. The maximum they have ever had is 12. These things are possible. You just need to. And we had a lot of distinctions. I had a distinction, but very many other students also had a distinction. So you need to be in a position to really think right. Because ni miaka 4 tu, unajua sasa shida inakuwa moja. You guys vile mmekam campus. You think that you'll never be out of campus. And you think that pleasing your colleagues, no, kitu kubwa sana ina affect sana huku ni romance relationships. So mnataka kila time mmeenda kutembea, mmeenda kula sijui nini, mmeenda town, sijui mko wapi, sijui na chat. Wasting a lot of time in the WhatsApp chatting. I would like you when you're chatting, unaangalia pale juu time ulianza kuchat. Then unaangalia time umemaliza, and then calculate time 7 days. You see how many times you're wasting on phone. Na unachat na person X, person Y, person Z, group X, group Y, group Z, Instagram Y, Instagram Z, Facebook T, Facebook Y. Just to represent different fellas in those platforms. So ile unafanya ina add up to your success or your failure. But I don't need to shout. You see, I present differently. If you listen to my presentations and my speeches and my motivations, zina taste different. The reason is, it depends with the content I'm sharing. Like this content I'm sharing today, I know very well, those who will abide with it, you're going to succeed very much. Those who will not, they're going to perish. Yeah, it's possible. So I'm sharing a content that it is a time bomb. If you choose to follow, success is just waiting you. If you don't, failing is waiting you. Some of you have inheritance, some of you have backside connections, some of you, you know MPs, you know MCAs, you know governors, some of you know some senior officers in some government agencies and all that. But by the time you graduate, watakuwa wameretire, I tell you. Your links are going to be weakened. You better fight for yourself. Another thing that you have to consider as a student is that you must do a lot of practical revisions. So the things you learn in class, when you go to the room, try to rewrite them. Try to peruse them again. Try to, I don't want to use the word memorizing, but you like it or not, that's the first stage of understanding. Your brain must capture the pictures of what you've read. So memorize this information and revise time and again, and they become part of you. I used to revise so much, and I could speak the entire syllabus just because I had enough time to understand the concepts. So when you want to be, let me show you how I did it. I could read ahead of the teacher. Then when going to class, teacher akifunza, me I'm revising. Then that becomes my primary revision. After that lesson, unakuta nimefanya 75% retention. When I go back to the room the same day, I will peruse through the same course, the same what has been taught that day alone. Then you realize that per day labda nimekuwa na class 3 of different units. So kazi si mingi. So ninaangalia kwa sababu unakuta nimetoka class 10, ninaangalia the first unit 12 to 1, alafu kuna lunch break hivi, then 2 to 3 naangalia another one, then 3 to 4 naangalia ingine. But unakuta hiyo inafanyika tu the first month, the second month and third month ushaiva. Hizo vitu hata utakuwa unachukua 20 minutes ushapitia kila kitu, because every page you understand what is being said. Then I could also read ahead of the teacher before the class time. So classes za kesho zote, if the teacher has given us soft copy notes, nasoma. I read them, and I read them just the way I'm revising normally. So when the teacher is teaching, to me, ni kuenjoy too. And then when I go to my discussion group, because I was managing a discussion group, naanza kuwafunza kile tumesoma leo kwanza, then nawafunza what we had gone through the other days. So it becomes very easy for them to understand. And actually all of them walipata first class except 2 who got second upper. So unakuta kwamba managing these things is very easy. You just need to understand the concept. And since the syllabus of the university has not changed, the concept will not change. Therefore, some of these tactics are going to apply. Hapa si optional ati ni ile niwaambia saa ile, my calendar is, you cannot abide to it, it's an optional. But revision tactics you have to maintain. This might not be really optional because they are one of the best. I did a very big research before I adopted this style, and it's working, and it worked for many people. I sold it to some other people and it worked. So you realize that the much time you spend on your books, the more you understand the concepts, the more you understand the syllabus, the more you understand what is needed. Then you tell your lecturers to give you past papers and revision questions. Some of those past papers, you'll see those questions in your exams. You pick the past papers, you take a new book, you write the question down, you provide marking scheme. Some teachers will give you questions and marking scheme, the better, that is actually the better, so that you understand how do they need you to answer the questions. Then some teachers will give you assignments in class, some lecturers. I will use the teachers just for the easier terms. But those assignments, quite a good number of those questions will come in your exams. But because students wanataka copy assignments, you will not understand. These assignments is better if you do them yourself, so that you understand the concept. Anguka, then go and look for the teacher to explain, or your colleagues who got it right. Then when they explain to you, go and write it again down yourself. You see, practical revision is to mean you revise and you write what you've revised down. What I used to do, I was tackling a topic at a time, okay? Don't mix topics, and don't read fresh content when you're fatigued. That's why I was waking up at 4 to read fresh content, because fresh content needs fresh minds. So try as much as you can to revise in the evenings and later in the days the content that you're familiar with. Then in the mornings and when you're fresh, you can bite the new content. What is there is that some of these questions you're going to see in your assignments. You're going to see them in your exams again. Most teachers, they just want to promote you. But because we copy assignment, then you're going to have it rough in exam. You can't remember. So you prefer that assignments unazifanya mwenyewe, make discussion groups. Even if you copy, let me now allow copying. But you must understand what you're copying. The point is you have just to do it yourself or discuss with few friends, use internet and all that, notes, and you'll get answers. That will make you to understand the concepts in those assignments. And then when it comes on exam, you will be in a position to pursue them. Another thing to take home tonight or this day is the issue of you making a good rapport with the teacher. Try as much as you see now, you students, you came to school alone, but you influence each other very badly. Pure influence is very bad. At 20 after class, you've already organized how to go to town and do some stuff. Some of you mliacha indomie kwa nyumba, you want to rush and go and take indomie and some other funny stuff. Some of you are having dates. Try to spare some minutes and follow the teacher. I was a brilliant kid, but I had a big rapport with everybody, including the watchman in school. If I go there now, everybody respects me. Technical stuff, professional teaching stuff, and all that. Because I didn't discredit anyone, I had a good rapport with everybody. But that's how I got a lot of me, but they have violated many protocols of school, not illegally, but legally. The only students mwenye nishawahi fanyiwa course registration na officers of the school, na imefungwa, wakanifungulia na wakaniregistia. I'm the only students who has ever gotten a student leave for a very long period of time approved by the school, plus many others. So when you become a good student, people trust you with anything you say. And I've never lied, by the way, to my teachers and fellow students. I was so real. I'm so real, by the way, if you know how to interpret people. I'm so real with life, like I don't pretend and I don't beat around the bush. I'm just so real. These are some of the strengths I carry, but the point is just be real, be yourself. Be yourself. And pursue these things with one accordance. So make a rapport with these teachers. Some of them, they did their studies abroad, okay? And they have networks for you to go and do your master's and PhD abroad. Some of them, they have relatives and friends in the industries. They will connect you to go do attachments and things like that. And some of them will support you financially, I tell you. And some of them, of course, watawakati and they want to misuse you. So what you need to do is to be very sensitive. You just need to detect the right ones and build a relationship. Try to expose your status and your principles to them. And most importantly, expose your future and your targets to them. They will not support immediately, but they will study your performance and they'll start recommending you one step at a time. Then after doing that, they ask them about how do I succeed in your course, how do I succeed in your unit, what are the areas I can work. And as I said earlier, do not study because of employment, because that's a